it's finger stretching or something? Finger stretching day. Use your words, Lydia.
No, I don't wanna. All right, people, are you excited about working group reports? Yeah? Thank you, this is the spirit we need here. We are going to start the working group reports. There are going to be 4 reports from 4 of the working groups that KDE has. For those of you who don't know what working groups are, they're basically organs of KDE that are there to do specific areas of work and support the board and the larger organizations. And we're going to start with Albert. Albert, are you ready?
Hello. Okay. So I'm Albert, and I'm going to do the report of the KDE FreeQt Foundation and Working Group. Olaf is also here. He's also a member of the foundation. Okay. So who we are? We are all this list of people. I'm not going to read the names because I will butcher everybody's names. But me and Olaf, we are the foundation members. Everybody else is a working group member. Right, and what do we do? Well, it's a group that helps us, right? We felt very alone, so we created a working group, so we had friends to talk with. What did we do last year? So we have a matrix channel, right? And we talk in that matrix channel every so often when something arises and needs discussion. We also have live calls well, we have them scheduled every month, but sometimes we skip them because there's nothing to talk about. But it's good that there's a fixed day on the month that we talk about. We also met with the 2 foundation members of the Qt group at the Qt World Summit in a very informal way, just to keep the relations going. Also, as a side note, in the World Summit, everybody was very happy that we are doing the Qt 5.15 patch collection, so that's a good thing. And the most important thing that we did last year is that we recovered access to the bank account, right? If you remember me from last year, we lost access to our bank account, and that was terrible. So we recovered it. It's not as easy as you might think. The foundation is in Norway. I'm in Barcelona. So it involved shipping papers up and down a lot. So yeah, that was very nice. Lessons learned. We have a very good relation with the Qt Group Foundation members, so that's nice. We can talk about things and not shout at each other like it maybe happened in the past. No, it didn't happen. So yeah, we are working in a no news is good news scenario, right? Nothing is breaking. It could be a bit improved, but let's take it slow. The working group is a huge help for us, right? We really appreciate the working group helping us, and we also appreciate all of you doing increased collaboration at the technical level with the Qt people, right? It helps the Qt group see that we are a good partner, right? And we create patches and we do fixes, and some of us are even maintainers of subsystems in Qt, so that's very good. Obstacles, as I said, we lost the bank account, right? That super thank you to the Qt people in Oslo that went to the post office. So at some point, we recovered the bank account, but we couldn't access it because you need a physical token to access the bank account, right? And they will not send it outside of Norway. So we send it to the Qt office in Norway. And then somebody else wanted to go to the post office to pick it up, right? But that somebody else was not me. And they wouldn't give it to them. And then I signed a paper saying, yeah, give it to them. And then they went there. It's like, no, but you're not the chairman. It's like, well, I am the chairman, right? So like, it involved going to the post office like 3 times in a day, trying to convince the people in the post office to give them the token so they could send it to me. That's all good. Thank you very much. So where do we need help? Continue building good relationships with the Qt people, right? We are possibly maybe starting to think in an updated agreement that we have with the Qt group. Suggestions are welcome. One of the particular sore points of the agreement is the X system versus Wayland as support platform. We already had a bit of discussions about that in the membership mailing list, but yeah, everybody's welcome to come to us and talk about it. And yeah, key goals. Yeah, be nice, right? We are gonna continue being nice people as much as we can and collect improvements to the agreement. As we said, right, we want to eventually maybe update the agreement. So yeah, come to us, tell us what you think we should be updated, and that's it, right? We are here. That's all of that's me. I don't think anyone else from the working group could make it. But if you want, we have a mailing list. We have Matrix. We have IRC. Maybe not so much anybody nowadays. And I am 30 seconds past my time. We will have questions and answers at the end. So thank you.
So, me again, is a different role. Part of the community working group. Originally, Andy was going to present this. I think they're busy with Union next door, so let's talk about what's going on with the CWG. Whoops. So first, who are the CWG? What do? We take care of the community. We are a group who works on it, so to speak. We enable the community to work effectively and efficiently, helping community members maintain healthy interactions and resolving conflicts. We're the moderators. Discord mod, Reddit mod, whatever you want to call us, no offense taken. Our work of the past year, the past 12 months showed a big drop in cases from the past year before, which is good. Less conflict, less drama, less fighting, more harmony, more beautiful, more KDE. But some of the cases from the past year in 2025 demanded a lot more work this year. We don't report, of course, on individual situations, and we don't spread specific decision-making information about cases. We keep things private because what's the point of discussing drama like that? So it's also part of our charter that we do that. So in summary, we've had 5 cases reported within the last year, and of them, 4 had a decision of sorts. 1 is pending still. Where we need help? Well, we are looking for more members, 2 of them at least, to be specific. The CWG, I think, is meant to be about 5 people or so. Right now, it is myself, Andy, next door, I believe, Kyle, and I forget how to pronounce the last guy's name. Julius? No. I'm sorry. I was not prepared to do this today. Noah and Jules. There we go. You can connect with us. We're here. We have a BOF on Monday. You can come talk to us about it. We are kind of rebooting, I guess, suppose, the CWG because it's been kind of quiet in a few years, not a lot of visibility. So this year, we've actually had a bit more presence here at Academy. We've put together a safety team, for example. Already had one situation we dealt with, which was great. I mean, not the situation, but we dealt it was great. Yeah. Key goals and plans for the coming year. Create security guidelines during community events, or so-called scofflaw protocol that we've assembled. We're going to be holding office hours, I said, during our BOF session on this coming Monday. I think it's right after lunch. Expand better guidelines for joining the CWG, because again, we want more members. There's the formal members, and then maybe some other, we can't be moderating all of the KDE empire. In fact, that's what most of you guys do. And so for that, creating a channel dedicated to online moderation from the community, which already has been a great benefit to things. I think it's maybe 3 weeks old at this point. And as it turns out, we have like a lot of moderators all over, which was a learning experience for us and everyone. So talk to us. That is almost our email address. Put a little Y in there somewhere, communitywg@kde.org, not community@kde.org. That's a completely different mailing list, not to be confused with the community working group. Yeah. Thank you. And next we have Bhushan with the sysadmin.
Hi. So I want to present the sysadmin report. Mostly I'm going to read some of the things, but so we have supported, for example, this list monk instance. I think the Nate's blog is like one of the main user right now, which is like running the campaigns, like sending the newsletters to users and as such. We also migrated away from the Cloudflare because, yeah. We also started like lots of planning as well as some work to migrate to new cluster setup. Um, there has been some challenges, and some of them we are working towards, and some of them we are looking the new solutions for that. We also migrated, like we also started the process of working with the Fastlist open source program, and it's a kind of important nowadays because AI scrappers are basically hammering our system and making it very, very unstable, and we are not able to keep it up. So we have to basically put some additional protections around it so that we can actually use it and not just AI bots scrapping our data. We also assisted like various developers to get the Microsoft's accounts so that they can put the software on the Windows Store as well as such. We also have the instance of Uptime Kuma. So it's a bot basically. So if some service goes down, it just says in the sysadmin channel. So like the users doesn't need to complain, the bot will check and it will keep complaining. And then there is a overall general like the maintenance of all the systems, like keeping things up to date and all over. Uh, some of the other important work in the past year has been the VM-based CI. Like previously, we were using the Docker-based CI, and that had some limitations. Like you cannot run some systemd services in it, or like you cannot interact with some system services, and that was not really useful for some of the projects. So now we have a VM-based CI. It's much more efficient. It's much more nicer also for the Windows host, for example, and it's overall like it improves the stability. It also allows us to build the Flatpak and Snap and all those runtimes in our infrastructure, and now like we can push it to FlatHub. So that's one other thing. We also introduced native ARM support because we do have some users who are actually using the ARM Flatpaks or Flatpak runtime, and we want to build it, so that is also there. Then it's about the binary factory, as it what we used to call it in the previously. So now it like to sign the artifacts, like to sign the Windows build, sign the APK builds, or signing of the Flatpak repositories. We have create like the ban has created this is secure token service, and so it temporarily allows to you to sign the different artifacts. We also, since like we migrated to VM-based CI, like the node deployment process is also like very much automated. Like previously, it used to take like, since it was a manual process, it used to take forever. But now, since it's VM-based CI and like this process is automated, I think using Ansible, so it's very fast and very efficient now. So like if we want to add support for additional build nodes, it's much faster process. And we are also supporting some community members for like adding additional support for new CI functionality. Like we want to test against the newer Qt and as such. We got some requests from the copyright holders, and we like one was the spam posting. I think this we kind of get it almost every year. Like it's there is something named as a K-mail or something like that, and they think it's us, but we are not that. And yeah, then there is some people posting the pirated content on the store.kde.org, which is yet another, I think, probably topic for the moderation as well. And we also needed to provide some information to the various app stores like the Apple Store as well as the Play Store. I think most importantly that they needed some additional information. So along with board, we provided some information to them. We need some help. So the main thing is we are struggling with the packaging for various binary formats like the Snap, Flatpak. Like the CI support for that is there, but there is many challenges and many issues there. So we need some assistance or like help on improving this. LXR is also bit old, like the uh, the software is, I think, some PHP code or something, and it needs some, like it needs, genuinely needs probably a rewrite or some new different solution. There, like we did some research around the alternatives, but one of the functionality with the LXR is like you don't need the login to search the code, but none of that other alternatives provide that. So community views on like what should be the good thing for that will be very nice. I think the LXR is also struggling because of this AI scrapper issue. So it's essentially serving the code, and the AI scrappers basically, since it's a free text, like AI scrappers just start scrapping the whole of LXR and bring the whole system down. So yeah. We also need support for docs.kde.org. So similar, like it, like after the Qt 6 migration, it stopped building essentially, and now it's like we probably should make it as part of the CI, similar to how the API.kde org is being done. Right now, it's a one server which builds all of the docs, and it's not so scalable. So yeah, and some of our key goals is, I think I already mentioned, we want to migrate to this new cluster, and we already have done quite huge planning for that. We also want to migrate away from, like, since we are moving to this cluster, we will migrate away from DigitalOcean and IOMart. And we also want to roll out this fastly protection, because this AI scraper issues as well as malicious attacks towards the FOSS projects is very, very much rapidly increasing. Recently we got an attack where a user was basically just opening multiple thousand connections and just keeping it open without sending the response, for example, and it was breaking our servers. So we want to roll out this fastly protection. We also want to close down Fabricator. I think you've been hearing this for years now. And we also want to close down the SVN. Again, the same thing that you have been hearing multiple years now. So yeah, talk to us. And I think this is the message from Ben. Like, if you want to do anything with the server infrastructure, please talk to us first and then implement it, rather than like just implementing and then coming to us. So yeah, this is the Matrix room. I am here as well, and yeah. Okay.
Hello, there I am again. We are the Financial Working Group. We exist to assist the organization in financial matters. That means doing research tasks, for example, as well as generally keeping an eye on our finances. Financial Working Group members have access to sensitive data. To some extent, they may also act as checks and balances on the board, for example. So unlike most other working groups, members are voted in for 2-year terms. We are currently reconfirming Marta and Till, so they are excused from being in the room, but both of them have been in the working group for several terms, and they've both stepped up to candidate for another. We are waiting for the vote results. I'm sure they will stay with us. I will set the stage a little bit before I get into the slides. And I'm going to make use of the fact that we're in a university right now. So KDEV is looking back on a number of really healthy financial years. This has allowed us to scale up. For example, we've doubled the number of contractors in the last 5 years. We've bought Victoria a gold chain, so she looks more impressive on stage. But we're also obliged to do so. As a non-profit, we work in the public interest. That means the assets that we have to dedicate toward our mission. So we did scale up also to de-accumulate our financial reserves. So we wanted our expenses to do something like this, while our income does something like this. And in 2027, we wanted to be here. And now I'm breaking the chalk. But I'm not the first one to do so, so that's okay. 10 minutes, that's no problem. So basically what we wanted to do is significantly increase our spending and then flatten that out while working on our fundraising to meet that. But as we all know, if you tell that to the KDE community, if you give them a task, they will outperform your expectations. And we have managed to do that in the preceding year. We've had the best financial year in the history of our organization. We did step up fundraising enormously, and we've more than doubled our income versus the previous year. This is really huge. It's not to be taken for granted. We have peer organizations who do something similar to us, who are financially troubled right now, and we are not, which is great. And that's thanks to the donors, first and foremost, but it's also thanks to the fundraising working group. It's thanks to the promo team. All of you did a fantastic job. I couldn't be happier with that. Really, thank you. You can clap at yourselves if you want. Our other income channels are stable as well. One thing to observe is that we see the improvement where we've put in the effort, meaning it has substantially increased from our individual donors because we've improved the infrastructure, because we've reached them with the campaigns. We don't see that growth with the corporate donors because we've not put the attention there. That means, however, if we do start putting attention on there, we might be able to reap rewards there as well. So that's something to keep in mind. We did succeed in our goal to apply expense control to flatten out the expense curve. We still well within our plan in the last year. So we do have the ability to control our burn rate, which is quite important. Now, you can look at the actual curve versus the one that I put on the whiteboard. You can see our income is just through the roof, and our expenses have flattened out. You see that pick up there from 2021 when we decided to outspend our income intentionally to de-accumulate the reserve and then flatten out. And here's the ratio. So you can see that's quite healthy, which is really nice. One thing of note here in the split is, particularly on the income side, the very, very large orange slice. That's our individual donors. That's an interesting recent development, because if you go back just 4 years or so, it was more a 50-50 split between individual donors and corporate donors. And now our income is dominated by the individual donors. I find that is attributable to our community having done a really good job in managing our relationship to our user base. This is something also that David reflected on in his talk on Plasma, and I think that is something that we pulled off intuitively, I would say, but that is worthy to take note of, that we have to keep that alive. Reputation management, taking people's problems with our software seriously. You can see in the metrics that we get rewarded for that. And in fact, you see that in the donation bump every time there's a Plasma release or a big KDE Live or apps release. It's really quite noticeable. All right, so 2025, we expect our income to grow further, even though this is a very conservative estimate. We do not calculate on the assumption that we will have the most amazing fundraiser again. We expect it to be lower that is us being conservative. We have no indication that it will be lower. In fact, in the first half year of 2025, it's been 36% higher than in the previous year. So for all we know, in a year, I might stand here and tell you it's been amazing again. But we want to be careful because we don't have experience with that. It could be that there was a lot of unusual excitement last year. So we will stay a little bit fiscally conservative. We will also grow our expenses, but quite moderately. And once we've gained more experience with how this shakes out over the next 2 or 3 years, we might target further growth, for example. So for now, it looks like this goal that I told you about just last year, that by 2026-27, we want to have a sustainably balanced budget again. We might have actually just achieved that in 2024 already, and hopefully we stick to that. Yeah. One thing that we've done is that we've given more budget autonomy to working groups or sort of sub-institutions in the community. For example, our promo team has a budget now, and they get to plan with that. They get to be self-responsible in deciding which events to attend and fund and support, for example, and that seems to be working quite well. All right, I already told you, so far, this year looks great. This is also true for sub-project donations. So a couple of years ago, we decided, or actually we were approached, I must say, it wasn't our idea, by applications that have a strong brand of their own. They wanted to do their own fundraising campaigns, and KDEV is helping them with that. They're using our infrastructure, and so far their fundraising is also very stable. Not necessarily growing, but it's stable, and it's worth doing. And you might think about, if you're an application developer or you have an exciting project, intentionally investing in your brand and trying that out, because that is another growth opportunity that we have. Now my asterisk of what hasn't gone so well. And this might be a fluke, it might not be a fluke, we don't know yet. Academy this year will not break even. Academy is something that we really want to break even, because it's one of our if in doubt, this must happen kind of things. We want there always to be an academy, so we wanted to break even. And it very much did so in the preceding 2 years. We've had 2 great years with academy sponsorship in 22 and 23, but sorry, 23 and 24, but not this year. It could be a fluke. September is getting very crowded with conferences. We hear from sponsors they're attending other things. Maybe we have to think about the time frame. Expenses are relatively flat, so it's a known quantity at least. All right. All right, so maybe another thing to note on is that our income, because of the fantastic end of the year fundraiser stuff, is now quite dominated by Q4. There's a significant bump. There's always been a bump around Christmas, but now it has sort of proportionally grown more. And that means really we need to keep putting in the effort into having a great end of the year fundraiser campaign if we want to match that curve. All right. I'm getting told to hold the microphone correctly again. Let's see if I ever learn. But my talk is almost over, so I will not get another opportunity to practice today. A last thing that we did note during the board report as well, sprint activity down. KDE people going to other events that are non-KDE seems to be increasing. This might be a healthy thing, and we would love to have both, because we want to have KDE people at other events, being present there, but also getting work done there. And we have the resources to fund both. So don't be shy about asking for either. And I'm through. Thank you.
That is all of the working groups for the KDEV. So thanks to everybody. We are done actually 12 minutes early. That's okay. So at 5 p.m. in 12 minutes or so, we'll have Farid up here with the KDE Goals 1-year recap. So yeah, go vibe until then. What? Oh, you're right. Is there anybody who has Q&A, questions? Yeah, I thought so. What? You have one? Okay. Yeah, come on up. Yeah, it's your job. It's on, run.
Let me do it, damn it. Thank you. So I'm interested about funding. So we have like personal donation and corporation, but before we heard about like states. And is there any numbers
Yeah.
how much we can have money from states?
Right, so I think what you're talking about is grant-based fundraising, right? You can apply for public funding sources. We started doing that a couple of years ago with the Blaue Engel for FOSS project, and now we're doing it with the successor project to that. The thing is that unlike the other income channels that we have, grant-based stuff usually means that the funds that come in are for a very specific purpose, which means you have to do actual work to prepare the package that you're applying for funding for, which you can do if you're an organization that can just tell people what to work on. But we don't have that many contractors, so that makes it a little bit difficult. But it is something that we want to do more, because obviously there is a lot more public interest in funding open source stuff, and we do want to benefit from that. So one thing that we have, for example, since Academy 2 years ago, when we had the BOF on this, is there is on Invent a project that we use to collaborate on grant applications, even just for individual developers. If you want to apply for an LNet or whatever, and you want other KDE people or the financial working group to review your grant application and get help with that, you can do it via that Invent project. I admit I forgot the name, but if you look for grants on Invent, then you will find it. In the past, we've been told by organizations like NLNet that it is smarter for individual developers to apply for grants rather than KDE EV, because they typically have a per project funding cap. So if 10 people apply for projects, the total amount of money going into the community is higher than if KDE EV just gets one project. But there will be other opportunities in the future, I'm sure, that try out different models, and we want to stay on top of that. Yeah.
Do we have a sec? Oh, we do have a second question. Thank you.
For the community working group. So the information that you shared with us was mostly after the fact activities, and I was wondering what kind of activities you're doing to before something happens, and yeah, what kind of ideas?
Yeah, good
you're
question.
working on there.
So this is we had this slide up here a bit ago that explains some of that in a little bit. One I want to really highlight is this last part, actually. Create a channel dedicated to online moderation from the community. Because as it turns out, we had a conversation a bit ago in one of our meetings. Well, first of all, we have regular meetings now. So we're getting more prepared, more regular, more involved in things. And one of the topics that came out of one of those meetings was this discussion about, we don't really know who moderates KDE, right? We have a lot of matrix channels, we have Telegram, we maybe have Discord somewhere, there's IRC, there's mailing lists, there's GitHub comment or GitLab comments, there's GitHub comments, there's YouTube comments, there's Twitter, there's God knows what. We didn't really know, and now we do know. So the first step is like figuring out what exactly is our, let's say, attack surface for trolls, harassment, and so on, and that sort of stuff. So now that we have at least a bit of a better idea about who is involved in these decisions, we can more, reliably respond to things. We have all the moderators now, as far as we know, all the moderators into one room now. There's a lot of coordination and collaboration going on. This year is the first year that we are setting up a safety team for Academy, which has been kind of very low-key, low-profile, because we've never needed it before, and we didn't really want people to think that there were problems, which there aren't right now, actually. But that's one of the first steps, getting this infrastructure in place. I joined the CWG myself last year because I was actually around KDE at the time. The first CWG was first created. And just kind of watching it be a very big role model for the open source universe and a bunch of other free culture universes, and then kind of seeing, hey, maybe it needs some new fresh blood. So that's also the second part, is getting more people involved, having a presence, because that was one thing that I missed back, 10 years ago, however long ago it was, because I've been here forever. Cool.
Thank you.
Do we have a third question? No. All right, cool. That was the report of the working groups. Thank you. So like I said, in about 5 minutes, we'll start the next one, the KDE Goals 1 year recap with Farid.